Hey there and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the functional trainer belt squat, and we're going to be taking a sumo stance with this exercise. So this is a great exercise for your legs as well as your glutes, especially when you open your legs a little bit wider, and also the adductors. So the first thing you're going to want to do is set up your cable all the way down to the bottom. I'm just showing you how to move it, and then your rotation arm, you want to keep that at 1. That way you're inside the machine as much as possible and not in the middle of the gym floor. And then you want to choose the appropriate weight. You could go heavier with this exercise and still keep really good form. So just make sure you can do 20 repetitions comfortably and then slowly start to increase the weight every other week or so. Once you do that, you want to make sure that the center of where the cable's coming from is right in between your legs, obviously. That way you're pushing from both legs evenly, and then make sure that your chest is nice and high. You want to go all the way down and all the way up in a slow and controlled fashion. But before we continue with more tips, here's a word from today's video sponsor.
I'm today's video sponsor, and if you'd like help losing fat or gaining muscle, there are a few ways I can help you down below. Either set up a free consultation with us, purchase through one of our free affiliate links, or purchase one of our instant access affordable training programs. Can't wait to be of service to you. Now let's get back to the rest of the video.
The next thing we want to focus on is making sure that the belt is connected properly, obviously, so that the chain is pulling you straight down and not at an angle. Also make sure that you keep your feet nice and flat. So what you want to do is actually think about sitting back while pointing your feet slightly outward. And make sure also that your knees track over your toes. So you don't want your knees caving together, and that's going to place an incredible amount of pressure on your knees. It's also a very inefficient way to do a leg press, or pushing with your legs basically. Another thing you want to make sure you're doing is going all the way down or as low as you can to where the weight stack doesn't hit, because if it hits, you take tension off of the muscle and you start losing the effectiveness of the exercise. So what you could do too, which I didn't do in this video, but you could do, is you can put something underneath your feet. So you can get maybe 2 boxes or a box or something where you can elevate your feet, I would say somewhere between 5 to 10 inches, something like that. So once you do that, you'll be able to go a lot lower. So just keep that in mind. You could always do that. I would actually do 2 boxes now that I'm thinking about it, because if you put a box right underneath where it's pulling you from, then it's probably most likely not going to be that tall or tall enough to give you a full range of motion. Now, with that said, you also want to make sure that you keep your chest nice and high. What you don't want to be doing is you don't want to be bending over excessively with the torso. You basically want your tibia, which is the shin, to be at the same angle as your torso. That's a perfect squat. Whenever if you squat and you start bending over a bunch and your tibia stays straight, that's horrible squat position. You're not going to be working your quadriceps as much as you could. So just allow your knees to actually bend. As long as your heel stays down, you're good to go. Here's some mistakes I want you guys to avoid. Half reps. You don't want to be doing half reps at the top of the range or even half reps at the bottom. And you also don't want to lock your knees out like that. Another common mistake is allowing your knees to come together. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that the knees are tracking over the toes. That's the safest position. We don't want to be moving forward and backwards. We want the cable to basically be pulling us straight down, not forward and backwards. And then another common mistake is bending too much at the knees. So notice how my heels are coming up and my knees are going over my toes. You want to avoid this.